I see a blind spot here, and I don't want that to be the reason you ruin an opportunity with somebody. I want to make sure whatever you got coming to you, it comes to you with nothing that gets in the way of it. I want you to reach your potential. I don't want these little hangups to be the undoing of you. That should be our motivation. I'm holding you accountable because I actually genuinely care for you and about you. I'm concerned about this could be your undoing. Not, I'm finna get some get back. Not, I'm finna blast you to everyone. That's not accountability. That's a very selfish motive. Your motive and agenda when you holding someone accountable, I'm here to help you.
This is Caesar Walker, the cool, calm, collected one.
And I'm Ronnie Gatry, the emotional one.
And we are the Tipping Point Podcast, your source for the black male's perspective.
Tipping Point Podcast.
When I think of accountability, I think of something that I can personally attest that I've run from for decades. Dude, accountability to me, it is like looking at yourself in 4K. And you know one thing they say about 4K, you're going to see everything. You know what I mean? But not only seeing it, but acknowledging that it's there. And that's something that appeared in my life that I didn't want to acknowledge the blemishes. I didn't. But over time, and I'll talk about this more as this conversation develops, but over time, I learned the power in accountability, self-accountability. I know at some point we're going to talk about holding others accountable, which is a struggle of mine still that I don't mind sharing. But yeah, dude, accountability is a strong term for me.
Okay. Just because of the positive effects it's had.
Yeah, because it's as a man, like, I think, and I can only speak for myself. Actually, I can speak for one other person that I had this conversation with earlier today. As for two men on this earth, I know that accountability is usually met with negative implications.
Okay.
Holding yourself accountable and being held accountable by others. Negative. Because think about it. What is the opposite of accountability?
Validation.
So it's like, hold on. You mean to tell me I'm a man walking this earth, imperfect just like everyone else, but those imperfections only got to stay within me. No matter if they're infiltrating my community, my family, my loved ones, I got to hold that in because if I share that, it's weakness. Nah, bro. No.
Well, so we'll build on that with a later question because you're getting into that. But for you, accountability is something that's near and dear.
Bro, I asked. Oh,
go ahead. No,
I asked for it. I'm at the point now in my life. I'm asking for it.
We'll get to that too. Because I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, he's laughing, so it means I'm probably eating words now. But
no, it's just that the excitement.
Yeah, because accountability is cool. We got to shape this narrative, man. We have a platform, man. Accountability is okay. If it's not cool, accountability is okay.
I like this version of Gab, by the way. Like this too, for those who can't see him.
I told y'all I like the topic. Did I put a heart on it or a thumbs up?
Don't ever put a heart on my topics.
Walker, you will not hold me accountable to that. If I feel it emotionally, I'm using emoticons.
You actually did put a heart on it.
That's where the love comes from. Not no finger. Continue on, because I'm about to.
Actually, it kind of does come from the finger.
Oh. Okay, then. No.
When you think about it, like.
Comes from the finger, not the heart. Okay.
Time.
Yeah, because you don't have neither. You know what you are, Walker. You're worse. You're worse than Ole Miss against Kentucky last week, faking injuries. You ain't pull no hamstring. Love comes from the heart. You know that. It don't come from the thumb.
Can we move on to him?
Sure.
Okay. Black
Black. What do you think about when you hear accountability? What does it mean to you?
When I think about accountability, I always turn inward because whenever there were like situations where things didn't go the way I wanted them to, or I took a L, I was trying to figure out like, was it something that I did or was it something that happened to me?
Okay.
And if I feel it's something that I did, I try to figure out like, what can I do to change it so it won't happen again?
So being introspective.
Yes.
You equate accountability with being introspective.
Yeah, examining yourself with your flaws. Like I do like a what did I do right, what did I do wrong type of thing.
You like that, Gap?
I love it. Put a heart on that.
What you like? Because it came from
My finger.
so being introspective.
Yeah.
Do you have the definition pulled up?
Yeah, it says accountability is a state of being held responsible for one's actions or the consequences of those actions.
I like the latter part. I like the consequences.
I love all of it.
Being
Responsibility, bro.
being held responsible. What I'm hearing from Black, even yourself, you alluded to the fact that you are willing to hold yourself responsible for your actions as well as the consequences of those actions. I agree with that. I think of being responsible. I think of being responsible, whatever it is, whatever the case it is, if you fall short of not living up to your responsibility or your standard, you're willing to own that. And I think some of the best form of accountability is when you're able to grade your own paper and be honest about your paper and honest about what you did. I think a lot of that is very sincere when people choose to take responsibility without being asked to, without being confronted. But I think it speaks a lot to a person's character when they're willing to be held accountable. So we're talking about why it's important. Well, why is it important? Why is it important? And we're dealing from a vantage point of men, obviously. Why is it important for men to embrace accountability, be willing to take be accountable for their actions? Why is that so important for us?
Think of the context of where I am as a man. I'm a leader. Leaders aren't perfect. I don't care what you say. Leaders don't have it all figured out. But I think embracing that concept of leadership, if you're holding yourself accountable, the people you're leading will too. Bro, like, I was on the phone with my wife earlier today. She was at the Verizon store. She was like, hey, I got stuff to do, my iPad. While I'm here, I'm going to see if they can get you a new phone. It's like, you're not getting me a new phone. You know why? Because I'm the one who decided I would be cool and rock this phone without a case. And I was the one that dropped it every time. I'm the one that shattered the back of it. That's on me. It's not up to you to get me a new phone. I got to sit in this and deal with it until the phone is inoperable or until it's my time to get an upgrade. That's on me. It's accountability, man. I could have blamed anyone for that. I could have not blamed anyone, and I could say, yeah, go ahead, get me a new phone. What am I learning? Is that a bad example, Walker?
I mean, you can just get a new phone and put a case on it. That would have been your lesson.
You don't have insurance?
No.
Or
That's the problem.
Or that. Or you can get insurance the next time when you get your new phone.
I'll explain that, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Okay.
Nuance.
Huh?
Nuance.
Yeah. There's a lot of nuance in that. But nah, man, like, I think for men, I believe for men, if men are in spaces to where accountability is okay, both sides of accountability, being accountable to oneself and holding another man accountable, that humanizes us, that levels us, that opens up the door for growth. And the thing with men is we have this notion built that we got to have it figured out all the time. That puts a lot of stress on us, that leads us to do things we don't need to do, whatever. What if we started standing up for accountability? What if we started saying, hey, look, Walker, bro, I need you to hold me accountable when I'm in the gym because I'm seeing a lot in here with tight pants I don't need to be looking at. I got a wife and kids at home, and I know what I'm capable of. What does that look like? You know what I believe it does, Walker? I believe over time, and you get to determine how long that time is. I believe over time, if I'm giving you that, you're more inclined to give me something. Hey, man, look, I feel you, bro. But look, man, I'm going to Biloxi this weekend. I know I don't need to go because I got a gambling problem and I'm behind on my mortgage. You're going to share that with me. You know what I mean? So I've always said there's power and vulnerability. There's power and accountability. That's why it's important for men to answer your question.
Leadership, and what I'm hearing is that you empower others to really be a part of your village when it comes to accountability.
Village is the reason we're here. Community is the reason.
And it goes both ways. They'll ask you. Yeah. Okay. Why do you think it's important for men, especially, to be willing to be held accountable? Like,
So what I jotted down was accountability is crucial in helping men stay aligned with their values, foster growth, maintain healthy relationships, and ensure a supportive and trustworthy community. It helps establish a culture of responsibility and respect, making individuals better leaders, friends, and members of society.
see nothing wrong with that.
I like the community aspect y'all kept bringing up
Yeah.
because that's what, when you look at the world, I guess, I hate to sound like that old guy, but the way kids are today, a lot of it probably could be contributed to like a lack of community, like holding the young men accountable for how they act in public. When you know how things are going on in our city right now.
Right.
There's a lack of accountability and a lack of community.
Right. I agree. It helps us to be better. I think the analogy I think of when it comes to accountability, Gat, is I think about you're on the road and the lines in the road. You ever seen when it rains or you're on a road that's just hasn't been done in a while? What happens when you lose sight of the lines in the road?
Blurred lines.
Where you tend to
that not
find
where you were going?
No.
You tend to drift out of your lane.
Oh,
You tend to
my
drift.
bad.
Yeah, you tend to drift out of your lane.
Got way too excited over that.
That's one of those weird stories you were going to tell us about.
No, I was.
Okay, it's okay.
It's impossible for him to drift in his. But we'll go ahead.
I did this to myself. I'm holding myself accountable.
Good job. But you begin to drift, right?
Yeah.
And before you realize it, you are potentially off the road. And I think what accountability does is it keeps you in the road. It keeps you focused on where you're going because you're going somewhere. At least I hope you're going somewhere. And it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to veer off. But when you can see the lines in the road, you can see where you're supposed to be. And you understand, you know what that feels like, especially if you're in a car that's sensitive to that and it jerks you. You are well aware that, I drifted. I need to get back in. And accountability is that reminder that I need to get back in my lane. I need to get back and focused on my journey and my goal. I got distracted. I may have been doing something in the car or whatever, doing something I shouldn't have been doing.
I am getting back focused on what the goal, the overall objective was. And I think accountability is that push, that tug, that tap, that whatever it is to remind you, you have to stay focused on what the overall objective is. So go ahead.
Flawless victory.
Thank you. If we can all agree that it's important, accountability is an important thing for men. Why is it tough for us to accept accountability? And you kind of begin to tackle that a little bit when you begin to talk about how, as men, we want to give the appearance that we have it all together. You started getting into that. Why do you think men struggle with accountability?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I can add too much more to that, but that's the crux of my answer to that question.
Okay. Just think of your experiences when men have had to even yourself, when you've been faced with, do I hold myself accountable or take responsibility for my actions? What have been some of the factors that tempted you to not hold yourself accountable?
Oh, bro. Embarrassment was high on that list.
Okay.
And another thing high on that list is losing a perceived. No. I'm saying that wrong. Another thing that's high on that list, a lack of perceived control over whatever environment or situation. If I were to say, no, man, I need help with this because I'm struggling with this. Now I don't have control. Now I'm embarrassed.
Does it feel emasculating?
Oh, for sure. Because I'm a man, like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Let me have my flaws in the dark.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No.
And then another thing, Walker, you helped me just think of is like
There you go. We got it going now.
the potential for judgment.
Yeah.
You want to go here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't kick me when I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's a very you're again, you used the word earlier, it's a very vulnerable moment for you. And I don't know how you're going to handle me in this moment of vulnerability. So I'm afraid to even confront this situation. Right? So it's like fight or flight. Right?
Walker, see me come in the studio week in and week out with J's on. You think I'm gonna tell him I can't pay my mortgage? I know I'm wrong.
For example, money bags. We know you. We know.
Yeah. I know I'm wrong.
Very hypothetical. Go ahead.
I know I'm wrong for that.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell him. What's he gonna think? What's he gonna say? This is making me look bad. I don't want to hear what he gotta say. Nah. Me and my J's and J's and my foreclosure, we staying in the dark. Literally.
I have a certain question for what you about to say, Black.
I think a part of what he's talking about could be like a lack of self-awareness. Like the way people like, you know how we like try to like, we put our money to our clothes, but we struggling to pay our bills. I think that's part of like a lack of awareness also.
Yeah. But like, to your point, but like there's an opportunity for accountability there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
And then part of it's like ego and pride.
Yeah, I was gonna say pride is a major element.
Or you over-index on something, not realizing that people, they know you as a dude who always got J's, but there's more to you than that.
Right.
So they're not even as hung up on what you think you're putting a lot of weight on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you think let's go further there.
Okay.
As men, you know, it's a vanity metric for a lot of us to feel like a man. So part of it is at the very least, the appearance that you have yourself together. You're willing to go into debt. You're willing to do a lot of things
You're willing to sleep with you're willing to do a lot of things to feel as though you have your man. You know what I mean? You got it together. At least you look like you do. So any chink or crack in the armor of this presentation that you're presenting to others, from a psychological standpoint, what do you think men grapple with when I've been trying to present myself as this competent, well put together, successful man, and there's a crack there. There's an imperfection there. There's a issue here. What happens to that man's self-esteem in that moment, you think?
When that man is
confronted with the reality that the image that you're trying to present to others isn't real.
Oh. I mean, to me, it's a glaring need for self-identity. We've talked about this on this podcast before. I don't mind talking about it again.
It's a big part of what we push.
Yeah. Men who lack that, and I'm speaking from experience. I used to be one of those guys. But men who lack that self-identity look for in other places. It's easy. It's easy to find that.
That's a bar gap.
Right. Well, think about it. Think about it, Walker. It's easy to find that in pop culture.
Yeah.
He's easy, low-hanging fruit, but I gotta go for him. Future. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't bop the Future. I do. But Future, to me, not talented at all. There's no real talent there. But Future got a swag. Future got a vibe that people are attracted to. We know Navadius Smith is not living that lifestyle. We know he's not.
Not all of it.
I may have butchered his name, but it's something like that. I think his
Something like
first name is Navadius.
Yes.
We know Navadius ain't living like that.
Not all of that lifestyle. Not all of that life. Oh, he's definitely getting with women.
Oh, well, that comes with it. That comes with it.
That's what I'm saying. Not
Okay.
all of it.
Okay.
That's factual.
Right. Those
So-
kids are real.
So it's easy for me to latch onto that and think, well, that's an identity I would like to have. Why waste time with forming my own when I can go out here and do what he's doing?
Yeah.
That's why, one of the things I've had to realize about myself, and in my youth, when I used to club chase, bro, spent hundreds of dollars going in to see a whole bunch of people that look just like me. You remember that? Putting the throwbacks on.
No, I wasn't a throwback. But
Well, I'm talking about me.
I remember that era. But
Putting
yeah.
the throwbacks on, working hard to get throwbacks. Only to show up at the club on the weekend with 50 other dudes that got throwbacks.
Like a team.
Yeah. We all listen to the same music. Most of us paid to get in here.
Yeah.
Dude, this is an outcry for self-identity.
Yeah. I think about, you know where I thought you was going? You know where I thought you was going? Well, at the time of recording, like this whole thing with Diddy and the issue, like the fact that there's going to be an ongoing investigation, feds have a lot of evidence that can implicate other people. I'm interested to see what this does to the persona of a hip hop artist moving forward. Because part of the avatar of this rapper is he embodies being a masculine man. He has money, he's successful, women are into him, men think he's cool, hypersexual with women, but based on what's been alleged with Diddy and, you know, you've heard all about the freak, all that type stuff, right? The things that come out are going to be things that many artists have kept secret for so long, right? They don't want people in the general public to know about these things. Wonder what that does to, from a reputation standpoint, as well as self-esteem about who you are, getting back into identity. You know what I mean?
And the fact that you're one way in private, but you're a completely different way when you're publicly facing, you know what I mean? Facing everybody else. If you haven't grappled with that, and this thing you've been keeping secret, this thing you've been concealing, this thing you don't want other people to know that you do or deal with is exposed, what does that do to your psyche? What does that do to your, you know what I mean?
It's got to wreak havoc on your psyche. Got to.
That fear of being judged.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I take that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So we have that, right?
Yeah.
Is there an opportunity for accountability when you have all that?
Yes. It is. It's difficult because when we're talking about this example, right? The reason why it's tough is because you don't know what legal consequences wait on you, depending on how involved you've been. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In that example, Gat, the best accountability is when the best accountability is the example I give is Mace and Betha, how he just walked away from the industry. He saw things. He knew about things.
He's close to Diddy too.
But he realized I can't be a part of this. You know what? I'm gonna be a preacher. I know what I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be in this life. You know what I mean? To me, I think that's accountability. I'm willing to distance myself. If I can't get you to see the error, I'm gonna distance myself from you as well as this industry. I'm going to remove myself because I know this is not this is not me. This is not what I wanted. So when I think of accountability, yes, it's difficult, Gat, when you're so far gone to where even if you fall on the sword, you implicate yourself legally. That's why a lot of people are quiet. You know? That's why a lot of people are quiet in that situation. Yeah, there's a way to take accountability, but at what cost? Which is the point. Which is my point. It's tough because taking accountability is going to cost you something. It's going to cost you something.
Yeah, I have a note about you're talking about, I guess, the industry and things like that, and it says there are cultural factors as far as like avoiding accountability. And it says that in some cultures or organizations, accountability may not be valued, or there may be no clear structure in place for taking responsibility.
100%. That's what was happening. That's what was happening. So you got to remove yourself completely from that. You can't. It's not an environment where you can change from within and be a light in darkness. No, they turn off all the lights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one thing I noticed about myself is like, it's hard for me to like exist when there's no structure in place.
Yeah. But again, that comes from being very self-aware. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. You know, I critique, because I definitely want to talk about this. I think this is very interesting because we whether we're adjacent or not to the manosphere, one of the things that I hear coming out of the manosphere a lot is that accountability is a woman's
kryptonite.
He finished my sentence. You hear that a lot, right?
A few times.
Now, my critique, my goal is to be objective when it comes to the manosphere. So there'll be times I'll defend it. There'll be times I'll critique it. Objective. That's not an incorrect statement. Let's be clear on that. Because, and this is something me and LP was talking about recently. Shout out to him, friend of the show. But we were discussing how in life, there's just not a lot of checks and balances for women compared to that of men. Okay.
I was pulling up a stat. I'll pull this up since I got it on my phone. I was looking some stuff up, guys, and the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Did you know that was a website?
I
FBP?
didn't know it. I didn't know it, but
BOP, Bureau of Prisons,
Okay.
.gov.
Yeah.
So it's a government agency.
Okay.
They update statistics weekly in terms of inmate gender. So of all of people in prisoners, 6.7% of inmates are female. 93.3% of inmates are male. But we know that because women and men are human beings, that they do a lot of stuff, right? We know that because how often do we hear men are as twice as likely to be sent to prison as women? There aren't enough prisons to accommodate women like there are men. We've heard, you can go to study.com. This is where I went. It says men are often given longer sentences than women for the same crimes. There's not a lot of checks and balances. In other words, no one's coming to bail men out when we get out of pocket. We're just going to succumb. You have seen videos where women can cry their way out of certain situations.
Time and time again.
Okay. In college, you may not have seen this. I've seen girls. I'm like, how you got that many groceries? Oh, I'm on food stamps. I never met a dude in college on food stamps. But I knew several girls who actually was living okay, but they were on food stamps. So they were having fish fries they was living it up. Come through, we got food.
Wick.
How did they even know that that's there? I didn't even know that you could do that in college.
They hustle.
It's a hustle. But how many men in college, you had two choices. Figure it out
Get a job.
or drop out of school. Did you see any other options for us?
None.
Okay. In other words, if things get bad, if I fall, someone is there to catch me. I've mentioned Dr. Tia-San Johnson as a YouTuber, professor. He's opened an institute for black male studies, right? He on his YouTube page, he has reviewed a couple of videos. This one particular video where this woman's at an airport antagonizing this guy. Just antagonizing him. She's in his face. She's yelling at him. I forget what happened or started the situation, but she's being recorded. People are around. She's antagonizing this guy. People aren't saying a word. She hits the guy. The guy gets fed up and just gets her out of his face. She falls. All of a sudden, you see three men come out of nowhere to protect the woman. Yes. Guys, look on your face says it all. Now, in and of itself, I'm not mad that the men felt to protect the woman because the man was clearly in this video stronger than the woman. He could actually do this woman bodily harm, even though he wasn't attempting to. Well, my question is, if we're trying to look out for the woman, how come no one didn't get the woman before she instigated that situation or escalated it to that point? If we're really concerned about the woman, but that's my point. There's no real checks and balances for women like there are for men. Because if I push a dude and he swings on me, who's coming to rescue me?
Nobody.
You got what you asked for.
And three men who aren't even authorized by law, the state, city, government, to step in and aid in that woman, took it upon themselves to look out for her, even though she was out of control. Government assistance for women,
the prisons, that situation where that woman clearly should have went to prison for, but didn't.
Family court.
Family court. Okay, so if how did that woman know? How does she even have the frame of mind? Because obviously not all women behave that way. We know that. So this is not a slight on women. But what I'm saying is, how does that woman feel so confident to behave that way publicly? What if she had a frame of mind to know I can act out and nothing's going to happen to me?
Because when men are supposed to hit women.
Where are the checks and balances? So that's not so when we say, so what happens to the contingency of women who are not accustomed to those checks and balances? And you just going through life all over the road, all over the road. And someone makes you stay in your lane. Someone checks you, someone holds you accountable. We can understand how a person who isn't accustomed to that would feel attacked, would feel wronged, would feel disrespected. No, I'm just holding you accountable. Right?
Yeah.
Being objective with the manosphere, yes, accountability can be a woman's kryptonite. What I think the manosphere doesn't do a good job of
Is balancing with the men's responsibility. But that's not what we tune in for.
clearly. Clearly, because we can think of dudes we work with in our families, dudes we even friends with, friends group, the dude at the barbershop. You confront him, you know he ain't gonna take accountability.
True.
It happens to us too, because it's human nature. As you said, it's the opposite of validation. Being held accountable does not feel good. Doesn't feel good. I'm being reminded, especially if I'm insecure, if I got some insecurities going on in myself, I don't feel confident in who I really am, and you point out the very thing I've been suppressing, I have a problem with that. Especially if I ain't asked for it, I'm gonna have a problem with that. So why is it that we don't balance that out? I get it. I get it. We want to warn men about women who behave in that way. I get it. It's not lost on me. But we know that some dudes need to hear that message too.
I think it may be like maybe an overcorrection because men have been down for so long. Now it's like, oh, it's our time to speak, and we're gonna let it all out, and we're gonna direct it directly at these women.
Right.
So I think it's like maybe an overcorrection at this point. Maybe it'll balance out. I don't know.
I get it. You know, I mentioned that the Gap. We joked about that on the previous pod, where just let's see what happens with this because men are getting some stuff out, right? Mm-hmm. But I think even some of the guys in the red pill spaces, when they mess up, it's cringe. Because the very thing that they accuse women of doing, some of these guys, they accuse women of doing, they do the same thing. Mm-hmm. They don't want to own up that they missed it. They don't want to own that up.
And at the end of the day, as much as they talk about them, they want one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like, how bad do you want one? What are you willing to compromise?
Yeah.
You're gonna step back some of these conditions you have as far as like what you preach about on the internet
that you may or may not live up to in your real life, personal life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one thing to preach it, but how do you live it?
Right.
And how do you get the results that you want?
Right. Right. And to me, that's my concern when it comes to us. Again, true maturity is when you can accept anybody can hold somebody accountable. Anybody can. Well, we'll get to you. We'll get to you in a minute. But what I'm saying is, it's easier to hold someone accountable than it is to receive or accept accountability from somebody else. It's easy to point out what somebody else is doing wrong, as opposed to, you know what?
maybe I played a part in this. You know what? Maybe I could have said that better. Maybe I could have done it. It's so much easier to just say, you know what, such and such just, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Man, what such and such just, you know.
Takes no effort.
Just shift the blame to someone else.
Yeah. They tripping. They just whatever. But when you be like, you know what, did they have a point? That's tough. That can be a challenge depending on how you set up.
I think if I could add that before we switch, I think that holding yourself accountable gets easier the more you do it.
I agree.
Yeah, and also at a certain point, it just becomes like a reflex, I would assume.
Bro. But weird when you start being intentional about it. So weird. I just wanted to add that because I think there are people out there who could be getting intimidated by the process of that and may want to take that first step and not know that it's okay for that to be weird and not be encouraged to know that just like with anything in life or most things in life, it's going to get easier the more you do it.
I agree.
You think it's a lack of trust?
Lack of self-trust?
No, trusting individuals. Like you're going to be trusting them with things that you probably wouldn't want to tell them.
When I'm holding myself accountable? Is that the right pretense for your question?
I guess trusting someone to hold you to account. So you have
Trust
to share.
someone to hold you accountable.
So you have to share
Oh,
with them.
Yeah. It
You
takes
have that level of trust to like, I'm going to open up, let you know about this, and be also vulnerable enough to receive it.
Yes. It takes a heavy pour of trust. You like what I did there, Black?
Yes.
Why was it so tough for you to hold others accountable?
Man, because I honestly think I'm too far on the self-accountability side. Y'all are taking a peek into my therapy sessions. Because I'm like, bro, Walker, you need to do better with the way you treat Black. I want to hold you accountable to that. It's hard for me to get that out, even in this example, terrible example, because you treat him way better than me.
Facts.
And you agree to that.
The thought of you treating him better is just like, okay. Anyway, it's hard for me to say that because as I think about saying that, I'm thinking, what opportunities do I have to treat him better? What have I been saying to Black lately? So we going to church. We going to church, Walker.
Okay.
Come back over here.
No,
Come back.
I'm listening.
No,
Let me think.
I need eyes.
But can I think?
No. Walker, it's like the scripture says. How I'm going to tell you about that speck in your eye when I got a big old piece in mine?
Sure.
I
agree with you. I actually had
Okay.
the scripture right here.
Did you really?
I did.
Look at the Lord working.
Don't need
Two
it
or
no
more
more.
are present.
Don't need it now. You got it.
Look at God.
The doors of the church.
So for me, and I don't know how proud I am of this, but that is one of the energies I bring when I'm presented with opportunities to hold others accountable.
Well,
Talk to me, Walker.
I think it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be introspective in that light. You don't want to be hypocritical, right? I understand the need to not want to hold someone accountable to something you may not be doing yourself. So self-reflection is always good. It's always good. In fact, we can kind of talk about how to hold somebody accountable. That's actually something I wanted to talk. How do we do this?
This is the only reason I came here tonight.
There you go. This is for you. What God has for you is for you. But one of the things that some guidelines, I want to be clear what accountability is not. Accountability is not exposing people. It's not about exposing people. We got this thing in our community where we will put people on blast and then say I held them accountable. That's not accountability. I'll explain why that's not accountability. But another thing is holding someone accountable is not revenge. We hear that too. I'm going to hold you accountable.
We're going to counsel you.
That's holding you accountable, right? Now, that being said, some people might need to be counseled, right?
Thank you. I was getting concerned for a minute.
Some people might need to be counseled. But the reason why I say that revenge is not holding someone accountable is because in order to effectively hold someone accountable, I equate holding them accountable to constructive criticism. Constructive. The root word of constructive is construct. What does construct mean? Construct means to build up. Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to build you. I'm trying to help you grow. I'm trying to help you progress. Remember, I'm keeping you on the road to your destination and journey. Right? I'm not trying to get you to crash out or cause you, you know what I mean? I'm building you up. So exposing you does not build you. It destroys you. So when I'm holding you accountable, my goal, I need to make sure the following's in place. Respect. There has to be respect. I can't really hold you accountable if I don't respect you. You know what I mean? Why is respect so important? Because it helps me to focus on the second thing, your best interest. So oftentimes we hold people accountable and we're coming from a very selfish place. I'm checking you because it helps me feel better. Revenge, right? Or you got to make sure that there's no jealousy there. Again, get the plank out your eye before you can remove the speck that's in their eye, right? Do I have some issues with this person? This is the introspective part. This is why I like part of what you said is I need to make sure if I'm holding this person accountable, I'm not responsible for how they respond and how they receive it. I want to be clear on that. But I am responsible for how I deliver this. That is in my control. And I need to make sure that I'm coming from a good place when I'm holding you accountable, because I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you better. Got nothing to do with me. Got nothing to do with me. I am committed to making you better. And what I see you doing isn't making you better. It's either causing harm to you or to others, which ultimately will come back on you. This isn't good for you. Now, there's times I've come to you, Gat, and I've said, Gat, could you work on this? I did this recently with you. Now that I think about it, I said, hey, Gat, this ain't got nothing to do with me. Remember I told you? I said, I think it was about responding to texts or whatever. You remember that? Because now you look confused. But you remember what I said to you?
I'm no longer confused.
I know, right?
I'm ready to receive all this accountability.
But you remember what I said to you?
No.
I said, you can keep delaying responding to me. Just don't do it to other people.
I missed that, Walker.
Do you remember that?
I missed it.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to you. I missed that.
But I said it to you.
Yes.
You remember when I said it to you? But here's my thing.
Well, I don't remember, but I trust that you did say it.
He's accountable.
He was in the. He is. I can give him that. One thing I tell him. But my point was to you was, listen, I don't want you out here, people thinking you don't respond to them and stuff like that. You can ignore me. I know you meant well, right?
Yeah.
Other people may not give you that grace. So work on. You remember that?
Yes.
I was like, work on that.
Here's the icing on the. Well, no, this is actually the layer of the cake. One of the layers.
Okay.
You know I'm better than that.
I know. That's why I don't take it personal.
Right.
That's why I didn't take it personal.
Right. No. I'm not even there, Walker. The fact that I know that you know that I'm better than that, when you deliver that to me, you're helping reminding me of that.
Yeah.
And I believe in you.
But
I believe in you as a person. So
Yes.
it's easy for me to be like, yeah, come on, bro.
right.
Yeah.
That's been established.
Yeah.
That's been cultivated.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a time in our lives, Walker, where you couldn't have told me that.
Not for 1 second. I could, but yeah.
You wanted to avoid any kind of conflict.
Me, conflict?
You emotional?
But yes. But you see what I'm saying? It's like I'm coming to you, but I'm coming to help you. I see a blind spot here, and I don't want that to be the reason you ruin an opportunity with somebody. You do, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to make sure whatever you got coming to you, it comes to you with nothing that gets in the way of it. I want you to reach your potential. I don't want these little hangups to be the undoing of you. That should be our motivation. I'm holding you accountable because I actually genuinely care for you and about you. I'm concerned about this could be your undoing. Not, I'm finna get some get back. Not, I'm finna blast you to everyone. That's not accountability. That's a very selfish motive. Your motive and agenda when you holding someone accountable, I'm here to help you. So hopefully when you are confronted with the opportunity to hold someone accountable, it's yes, make sure that your heart's in the right place, that you're doing what you're encouraging people to do. But I believe in this person. I believe this person is so much better than this. And I just want to make sure that they remember that and that they keep that in mind moving forward. Does that help?
Oh, yeah. And you reminded me of a situation that, I mean, the communication as recent as this morning. Close, dear friend of mine shared a business opportunity that he wants to build on his own. He shared it with me. He never once asked for accountability, never asked for it. He believed in it so much that I took it upon myself to very friendly, in a friendly way, check in. Hey, man, you remember we met for lunch back in June and you laid out this whole thing for me? Just checking in to see where you're at with that.
Yeah. And you know he can do it.
Yes.
You know he can do it.
But bro, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, Walker,
Yeah.
because like it was on my heart this morning. On my way to the gym, it was on my heart. And I left him a voice note. Let him know it was on my heart. But bro, I was terrified. Terrified. And I said this prayer, Lord, I don't know why I'm about to do this. Record voice note.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
It was about 30 seconds, but still, I had to throw some emotions in there.
Sauce.
Some sauce.
Yeah.
But it was still tough. But you helped me to realize, because I forgot about that. Like as recent as this morning, I totally forgotten about it.
Yeah.
But you helped me to realize, like, I approached that with the right energy. I valued the fact that he trusted me with that. I want to see him succeed. It's okay to check in.
It ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It's all
okay
about
to
him.
check in.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Fast forward, he takes it great. So going back to the top of this segment, a lot of my delay to give accountability is right in here.
You in your head.
Yeah.
You in your head.
Because one of my delays in sending that, or one of my concerns in sending that question.
Really, we in our head when we receive it, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
But one of my concerns in giving him that was like, bro, I mean, I got the same struggle. I got a business venture I'm chasing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, how am I ask him about it when I got stuff I got to work on too? Thankfully, I was able to like get that thought out of my head and proceed.
The beauty of being able to hold someone accountable too, because I equated to constructive criticism, it's easy for me, because all I'm being is objective. It's easy for you to receive constructive feedback from me when I acknowledge the good that you do. If you always got that one person who they only come around to hold you accountable when you do something wrong, that's not sustainable. You're not going to continue to open yourself up to a person who always got something to say. At this point, you hating. if you always got to hold somebody accountable, there's two things here. You hanging with the wrong person, or there's something going on between you and that person.
So that's a symptom of something.
You got another you either hanging with a person you should be hanging with, or you got a personal issue with this person, and you can only see what they do wrong. Talk to me.
No, bro, I've been that person.
Yeah.
I've been that husband.
Yeah.
You heard them talks,
Yeah.
bro. When it came to our marriage, I was not receiving accountability.
Yeah.
So I get it. A lot of the concerns I was sharing with you, I can speak positively on them now because the work has been done and we serve a faithful God. I promise I didn't come in to take out of church today. But what you just said is exactly what manifested from that. I couldn't see at the time that I was shutting those doors that I was praying to be open, but it was all about me.
Yeah.
It took me examining myself, saying, "No, well, hold on now. I'm contributing to this. I can't be 100% right about everything."
Right.
My wife acting like that? No.
Right.
At some point, I gotta own some of that.
And you and her are doing some things right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
but you know, some of them garage conversations, it was just
Yeah.
like, I know you probably thinking this dude thinks she's doing everything wrong.
No. No.
I bought that energy.
Yeah, I'm saying no in the sense that no, she ain't doing everything wrong.
Right.
I'm listening, but I was like, dude, if she was doing everything, you would be walking around. I've seen dudes married to women who are doing a lot of stuff wrong. Okay. They look much sadder than you.
Okay. Right. True.
Right? Yes, she could be better and she got some things about her, right? You're going to find that just by living with anybody, being married to anybody. You're going to find some things. But when you're holding someone accountable, they need to see you compliment some of the things they do right. I can't trust you. I can trust you when I know you're objective. When you're proven to be objective, I can trust you. That's another one of the things I enjoy about our dynamic and our relationship. I value that you and I don't think the same way. I value that because I know when push comes to shove, you're going to give me a fresh perspective on something. Now I'm getting into how you begin to build in accountability around you. One of the things that, and you know, I regardless of how you feel about them, different people who listen to the pod, one of the things that I admired about former President Barack Obama is when he selected Joe Biden to be his VP. That was right on the heels of Biden being critical of Barack Obama. He had some critiques about Barack. I guess in terms of his stance on issues and whatnot, he was critical of him. And he admitted, I think Biden did, he was surprised when Obama selected him. And Obama's reasoning is, I need people close to me who think differently than I do. And to me as a leader, you have to value that there are people who can see things you can't see. Because if you can see things I can't see, you can also see my blind spots. And you can keep me straight. Because I can't see my blind spots. You can't see your blind spots. But this person over here who's objective can. And the counsel they give me will be in light of the fact that they can see my blind spots. So in terms of receiving accountability, number one, you have to have a commitment to personal growth and development. If you're not committed to being a better version of yourself, you're going to struggle with this. You're going to struggle with this. I ask y'all for feedback all the time. Am I wrong, y'all? Am I off here? I had an issue. Y'all know about this issue I had early this year. I reached out to a close friend of mine. It's like, hey, I'm going to send you something. I need you to pick it apart. I need you to tell me where I went wrong. Okay, this is somebody I trust. This is someone who's objective. And they care about me, so there's a bias there, but this person stands on the side of right. So if I'm off, they'll tell me. Okay? You got to have and get you're part of that. Yeah, you part of like y'all are part. I call y'all my war council, right? So if I'm confronted with something, and this is the beauty of it. When someone tells you something about yourself, run it through the filter of those close to you. Run it by them. Hey man, I was told this about me. Do you see this sometimes? Am I guilty of this sometimes?
That's good.
Am I guilty of doing this? What do you think about that? But you gotta have a group of people you trust.
What you call yours? Can you say it on there?
My war council.
That's it. That's it. I
My
was
war
thinking of it.
council.
I know you got a name for it.
It's
Okay.
my war. Because see, y'all not gonna let me go to war.
Ooh.
That's why I call y'all that. Y'all aren't going to let, because see, you're on the side of peace. They're on the side of peace. They're not going to gas me up to crash out.
Right.
Right? Y'all care about me, so y'all are going to give me the best advice. That's why I call y'all that. I'm ready to go to war. Y'all like, put the weapons away.
Right.
You need to consider this. Okay? Okay. But if I got an echo chamber and everyone turn up like me, I'm in trouble. I am in trouble, Gat. Let's just use this example.
Okay.
Another non-living example. Let's say if I was single. And let's say I wish you was out here running these streets with me.
This sounds like our college days, Walker, but go on.
And you come tell me about the challenges you got within your marriage. What kind of advice and accountability can I give you when I want you out here in these streets with me? See, bro, that's why you need to come hang with me, man. You know, you ain't got to deal with all that. You need people in your life who think differently than you, who care about you, and have proven that they can be trusted with this type of information.
That's good.
They're going to always see your blind spots and will give you advice in such a way that steers you clear of crashing out. That's what community is for. They're not going to put you on blast. Accountability is designed to protect you. That's what God does with us. He protects us. When you see people fall like preachers, people say, you know, God is doing some things. No. God had been talking to them folks for years.
Right.
And they have been ignoring him. They got themselves exposed. God had nothing to do with that. If it was up to God, no one would have found out because you would have stopped. That's accountability. I'm trying to protect you. That's why you got to search your heart when you want to expose some folks. You ain't trying to protect them. That's not in their best interest for you to put them on blast like that. You don't care about that person like that. You care about you. You're doing that because that's something in you. We got to get this foolishness out of our community because we can't grow together if we too busy trying to expose each other.
And tear each other down.
And tear each other down. We can't grow. We literally become crabs in a barrel when we do that. If we're going to really believe in accountability, we're going to have to first start caring about each other. That's what it means by get the beam out your eye.
So I've been looking at that the wrong way.
That's what that means. Search your heart. What is your motivation for dealing with them? Do you really want to see them prosper? What you got?
If you don't, just keep your mouth shut.
You need to stay out of it. You don't mean well. You don't mean well.
Is that healthy?
Is it healthy? Yes.
If you can't offer anything to help them improve,
so you need to stay away from it.
Hold on. Say that again.
If you can't offer anything to help them improve.
What'd you say before that? Did you say at work?
No.
Oh, okay.
Something you need to get off your chest, buddy?
Care to share?
I don't know what y'all talking about.
I think you're hearing some stuff you need to talk about.
But did that help even with
Yeah.
receiving accountability and confronting someone, holding them accountable? Think that would help people?
Yeah. I mean, the communication is the key point.
I agree.
It,
I agree.
if and when I preface it with, "Hey, bro, I really care. I really see great things happening for you. That's why I got to tell you, like."
And another thing too, man, I think very highly of you. I think you a good dude.
That's it.
I think you a good dude. It's just when I see this, I don't think people see what I see in you.
Use positive reinforcement.
Yeah, that's constructive. I'm building you. I'm building you while addressing this problem because I believe in that. I'm not. It's no cap. I believe that.
I'll divulge a little bit, but it's essentially a situation. This sounds so bad. It's essentially a situation where I know my intentions are not good because there is a person that I do not want to see succeed because I do not believe in their motives based on the actions that they have displayed.
Well, you can attack it from that vantage point.
No. If I don't believe in their motives and I don't wish them,
Why you don't believe in their motives?
because their motives are not healthy. Their motives are centered around deceit and fear.
I would remove myself from that situation.
Well,
Is this a good person?
You took too long.
Look, yes, all of God's children are good. Is church over, Walker?
When you had to laugh after what you just said, you did not believe that.
Who am I to say who's good or not? I'm being for real, Walker. I'm being for real.
It's a person you want to surround yourself with.
No.
Who's the person you want me surrounding them? You want person you want me being around?
Yeah, you.
Well, he don't like you sometimes.
Why I say that healthy.
I know what you meant,
Yes,
bro.
because I just want to witness you deal with the situation.
Kid, do not like you right now. You need to
Because you would confront this.
you don't need to handle that. You don't need to deal with that.
You're not the world police.
That's okay. That's it.
You just pray for them.
Okay, that I can control.
You pray for them. That may not be your battle, your fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your homeboys, people orbiting your life that you
People
care
I
about.
genuinely care about,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, it's easier to do it then.
Right.
It's easier to do it then. So
This is good.
think this is something that we can do amongst us as men and improve and grow.
I think it's something that we need.
Well, and then not only that, like, I kind of got a challenge. This is going to be uncomfortable, but I kind of got a challenge, and I got to buy into this too. But what if we use this platform to display that within reason?
Yeah. I think we have.
I'm like, for example, I'm not gonna come here and tell y'all the other women I'm sleeping with.
I would hope you wouldn't.
It's just mom. It's just an example because I know my mama listening. But you know,
I would
like,
hope you wouldn't.
but like, if there's because you and I have had differences.
Mm-hmm.
We shared some, but like, what if we brought more to Wax to show men what accountability looks like
We can't. Well, I've done it.
on Wax?
You seen me apologize to you for how you.
Have I done it without a diss track?
Not without a diss track.
Well, I know.
Not without a diss track. You dropped 3 records in a row, Kendrick.
I
ahead.
do believe there was one point when we got down and dirty and we just didn't release that episode.
Yes,
But-
that was a non-functional example of accountability. But I'm going to be accountable and say that I was to blame for that.
But I ended up apologizing to you.
I know, which
for a lot of like some of the things that you felt disrespected by. Like I began to, and I told you, I said this on, I don't remember. I think it was the one we was talking about Deezus and Mero breaking up.
Yeah.
And I now you remember. But and I talked about how I began to evaluate me in that situation. And I realized, you know what? I could have handled that better. I could have done, this is the part I can own. And I apologize for that. You didn't ask me to, you didn't know it was coming. I apologize. We have done it. We can do more of that. But what I'm saying is, yes.
Well, and just for Black, like, I remember that disagreement. I don't think the challenge includes stuff like that.
I think we've healed.
Maybe we have. Maybe
so
the
far beyond
aftermath of that, but like,
Yeah, we came out much better.
but am I part
after
of the
that.
problem? Am I part of the problem though?
You were the problem. What you mean?
Yeah, I was the problem. But thinking of the aftermath of that, thinking about the challenge, I'm essentially saying, because I'm embarrassed at how I handled that disagreement. I'm so embarrassed.
I think
But-
we were all embarrassed.
Yeah, but am
But
I
we all
gui-
love each other at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm
but
saying.
am-
We all nobody felt good about that.
Am I guilty of not opening myself up to accountability because my concern is I don't want the internet to see me the way I handled that disagreement?
We didn't want nobody to see that but us.
Right.
No, Gat. No.
I'm being for real, Walker.
No. We talked the next day. It was fine.
Yeah, everything isn't for
It was fine.
everything isn't for public consumption.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I'm asking.
It
I trust
happened
y'all.
privately. We kept it private. We dealt with it privately. Publicly, we're good.
Yeah, that I get.
Okay. You just want people to. No.
No. Listen to my question, Walker.
I'm listening.
The fact that I wouldn't want that disagreement out on the internets, is that a problem?
No.
But it's based off me not wanting people to see how I can get.
Here's why I say it's a good thing that it's not out there, because people want to see that.
It wouldn't be a benefit
They're not
to you.
going to take away the big thing.
They don't care that they don't.
They're here for the.
They want to see a car crash. They're not slowing down that car to see you talk to your insurance agent afterwards. They just want to see the wreck. You know, like the resolution and how we're going to deal with, how we're going to move forward. They're not slowing down their cars to see that part. That's irrelevant. They want to see the crash. We're not going to give them that.
Yeah.
We're not going to give them
That's another thing I'm guilty of.
that. Yeah.
Oversharing.
No. You remember when I cooked up that clip when the dude said you're from Baltimore? I'm guilty of that.
This guy.
Accountability.
You'll never,
but even I'll never forget
that.
But Walker, even then you called me out on it, but it was in a cool way.
That was an example. I never called you out on anything that episode. No, I did not.
That clip?
That clip is not real. I never called you out. I was using an example.
No, you called me out after the fact for cooking that clip up with malicious intent.
Ronnie the Butcher.
It wasn't
Because
malicious.
I was click
it was,
chasing.
It wasn't
No.
malicious, but it
Well,
was.
malicious
you was,
is a bad
you was,
term.
you was clout. You was yes.
I was click chasing.
Yeah,
And you called me out on that in a very supportive way. Is
Yeah,
what
it
I'm
was
saying.
very. It was okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
the clip was not real.
It was real good.
It was,
It was good. Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I still go back and watch that.
like this bully.
When I put those cuts in of me, I was like, I should not have done that. Like, thinking back now, like, oh, I'm so embarrassed by that.
It's like, what did this guy just do?
But yeah, anyway, using that as an example.
And here I am. Like, how am I gonna tell this to this dude? Because I know he's feeling good. He proud of himself. He love this. And I was like, yeah. I asked you, I was like, did anybody call you? He was like, hey, y'all good? He was like, oh yeah, but it was great. Yeah, that's my point. They think I chewed you a new one, and I don't do that to you. I really am your friend.
In public.
Hey, like I told you that time, y'all dudes from Baltimore are unpredictable.
Now you unpredictable.
That comment is one of the best.
Somebody said in the comments, this dude got to be from Baltimore. Which I don't know why I don't have the twang. I don't have the accent.
It's not
from
the
about
twang, bro. You had the the video. You had the hoodie. You were giving me the work, bro. That's Baltimore energy. Oh man,
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, you got anything else, man? Anything?
Nah, man, I'm good for now. Thank y'all for this, man. This was healthy. This has helped me for real.
I'm glad it helped. I'm glad. Thinking about this has helped me too. It's helped me too, especially in terms of how do I manage when I do receive critique. I don't have to process it internally. You know, obviously you got therapy, prayer, all types of things, but you can run it through the filter of people who really are looking out for you. And they can verify or validate if they may have a point. They may have a point. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to handle criticism when you receive it. All right. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. You already know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, like this video, share this video. You can find us on social media at the THA Tipping Point, one word, on X as well as Instagram. We're even on TikTok as well. So go out there and check out our stuff. And as always, I'm Caesar Walker. He's Ronnie Gatchery. The guy behind the camera is Black. And you have been watching the Tipping Point podcast. Thank you.